So today's sitting is on the wellness of being. I'm going to start out with reading the title and the short description, and then further unpack this term, the wellness of being. The blissful, inherent wellness of radiant divine being. With whole being realization comes the deeper enjoyment of the inherent wellness of being. The experience of the wellness of being can range from equanimity and contentment to even bliss and ecstasy. The wellness of being is both an inherent aspect of whole being realization, and it also becomes more prominent and profound as we further integrate, deepen, and evolve in awakened life. This is the area of discussion of this sitting. So in talking about this term, the wellness of being, there is, let's say, a more standard definition, and maybe you've heard it. And so I have my own version of it. So this is Van Nguyen's version of starting with the Trillium Awakening. That as a foundation that I'm expanding upon this term, the wellness of being. Then just a comment here. You may or may not be aware of that recently, I think it was 6 months ago, the teachers passed a new expanded dharma. So if you're not aware of that, there's been let's say some additions to the Waking Down Core Dharma, and you'll find that on the website. So one of the things that's added there's a talk of these three centers, the head, belly, and heart. And so part of this talk on wellness, the wellness of being, will touch on that, but expand on it and I don't use, you could say the head is the light of awareness, the belly is the energetic aliveness of divine being, and the heart is the divine love of divine being. And so when I speak of these terms, I don't localize them to particular regions of the body, but just talk about them as more generalized aspects of whole divine being. So I'm going to talk about that in more detail, but I want to say that the basic foundational wellness of being happens in the clarification that we call, fancy term, initial whole being realization. So we already there. One way of looking at this is that there is only radiant whole divine being, and we are that already. And whole divine being is simultaneously unmanifested and manifested. So whole divine being is simultaneously absolute and relative, and they're married together. So each of us is simultaneously has our transcendental nature and our localized, materialized nature. So it's this both and sandwich or simultaneity. This is the core paradox of existence. So in whole being realization, initial whole being realization, there is, you get the more stable access, or the access code, to recognizing that existence is this paradoxical marriage of the absolute and divine, of unmanifest and manifest, spiritual and material. And speaking about the local human being, we're simultaneously divine and human, the absolute and relative, in a sandwich, an inseparable sandwich or simultaneity. So whole being realization is just clarifying this core paradox at the heart of existence, and having more stable access to feeling that and being that in a moment-to-moment recognition. So it's not some final set state that you arrive at, but it's more recognizing the inherent condition of existence, being this seamless, paradoxical unity of the absolute and the relative. So when you have more stable access to that, then fundamental seeking stops, and there's this greater restedness. You can rest as the paradoxical wholeness of the unmanifest and manifest parts of the aspects of divine being, and you rest in and as that paradox of being a divine and human sandwich. And so that allows us a resting in being and a resting as being. Now, when you have this embodied awakening, then the body-mind is a manifestation, a materialization of divine being. And you are more raw and naked, and you feel everything more, and you don't have the same buffers as before this clarification. So there's a greater intensity of everything. There is an integration period that we call sacred reconfiguration. The old name was wake down, shake down, and it's a divine human integration process. And some of the stuff that gets churned up is our shadow material, because everything, you could say consciousness is infusing into the body-mind. That's one way of looking at it. The body-mind and the personal self are getting divinized. So it can be an intense ride. So it's important to then to have access to and knowing more about what's the wellness of being that is available. It's inherent to whole divine being, and we can feel it and have infusions of it and experiences of this wellness of being. But after this clarification, we call initial whole being realization, then you have more stable access to the wellness of being. But it is inherent already, it's an inherent part of divine being. And there is only whole divine being, the wholeness of whole being. That's all there is. And it's paradoxically, simultaneously unmanifested or transcendental, and simultaneously manifested, localized, finite. And so here we are as this divine and human animal, this sandwich simultaneity. So we don't, well, let's put it this way. In Trillium Awakening, we tend to focus more on the consciousness, the transcendental awareness. We talk about consciousness and phenomena, but also aspects that we talk about, but I feel we should talk more about, and this is part of my mission, is to talk more about these other aspects of whole divine being. So now I want to speak about, basically there's three aspects of radiant whole divine being. Okay. So I think one way I'm going to do this is do this in live time. And so we start out, so both listen to me and feel me. We'll start out with the body mind. Okay, so here I am. I'm a perfectionist. I'm feeling some anxiety and also excitement. I'm feeling a buzz of energy in the body. So first I let myself. I'm gonna be going. It's kind of like, okay, let's take a walk through the wellness of being in these three aspects. So for first, we start out being the body, being embodied. Okay, so I'm feeling resting in and as the body mind, just letting it be as it is. Okay, so then I say, okay, there's okay, my heart's beating kind of quickly. I feel that pumping there, and so there's, and then I feel the sensations of heaviness on the chair, physical sensations, then feelings and emotions, some anxiety, some nervousness, some excitement. I feel some love feelings. I feel some happy feelings. So a whole mixture, just moment to moment changing. Thinking, better do this right, better be perfect. I want to make sure I say everything. So thoughts arise, I'll be with that. And then sensations, feel the heat in the air, and some sounds in the background. So that's being with the body mind just as it is. Okay, so the first aspect, just breaking it down in kind of a systematic kind of way, would be the divine energy. So you could call this the Shakti current, the divine Shakti current. This is the biocosmic energy. It's the vibration energy of consciousness. So that I'm going to let myself just open and feel the buzz of this Shakti energy, this divine energy. It's higher, a kind of a vibratory sense in the body, and sense of aliveness. Feel a little extra pressure in the head, and warmth, and so this, then I'm going to expand on it, just recognizing, okay, in the whole room here, everything is infused with this divine energy, and the whole world is permeated by this divine Shakti energy. So this is a sense of aliveness and being juiced up, and it all these vary, goes up, change at different times, and may feel different amounts or not. Okay, then the next dimension of wellness is what I would call the divine love and divine bliss. This is, from my perspective, divine love is like the heart of existence. So I'm noticing that, breathing with that. It's like a love embrace, being held in the unconditional love embrace of supreme divine love. I have my personal spiritual aesthetic as liking being oriented to the feminine face of God. So I like to call that love is being held by the Supreme Divine Mother. It's just the absolute acceptance, absolute embrace, absolute love that infuses existence. And along with this is divine bliss. It can be something more subtle as contentment. And it could intensify and feel more ecstatic, and you can even feel a drunkenness. So as I'm opening to that wellness of being, this second aspect, then I'm feeling some blissfulness mixed with the divine love. And there's still also the anxiousness and nervousness in the body mind. These are happening simultaneously. The body mind has its own life, and then it's happening, arising in this unified field. And this divine love is part of the unified field in which the body mind is arising in. Then so this is the Ananda, and it comes in its own organic waves. Sometimes it's very subtle, sometimes it gets more pronounced. It's one of the aspects of whole divine being, and it's one of the let's say these are the pleasures of divine being. So this bliss is one of the wellness pleasures of divine being. Third aspect is the transcendental awareness. This allows equanimity and embodied detachment. So in the midst of feeling some nervousness and a little anxiety, again, some excitement and a little exhilaration. There's this ground, the silence, this supreme space of transcendental awareness in which all this changing phenomena, all the changing stuff is arising and it's happening. So I'm feeling it, being it as a body mind, and also witnessing it as it's happening moment to moment. So it's a both and. Embodied witnessing, embodied feeling witnessing. So I'm inhabiting and fully feeling a body mind. At the same time, I'm not exclusively identified with it. So it's an embodied detachment and equanimity. So this is the third wellness of being. Now I'm going to extend this. I'm going to further this. This is like let's say a being bonus. A being bonus. Okay, so the other thing that we can do first. Okay, so I have a devotional orientation. Not everyone has that. Well, let's say it's expressed in different ways. I have this kind of mystical devotional side, and again, it's Divine Mother oriented. So I might not everyone. Devotion is not everyone's cup of tea, but I will. Some of my devotional side will come across here. But, so I'm going to let myself now relax attention from the body mind, and you might try this. You can close your eyes. So I'm just close my eyes a little bit. So I'm going to feel the body mind and all the sensations, and so I'm being that. And now I'm going to continue. We've already been doing this, but it's just continuation of relaxing attention. Let just attention be spacious, and then open feeling. I would call this all-inclusive feeling, or whole being feeling. All-inclusive, to this unlimited feeling, feeling everything, and just be feeling and opening. And while being the body mind, just letting it be how it is just at this moment, as it is, I'm also going to feel the unified field in which the body mind is arising. So it's a both and, it's a dual simultaneous feeling. Feeling and being the body mind, and feeling the unified field in which the body mind is arising. Then I relax attention further and just let attention let the body mind dissolve and melt into the field. Relax attention off the personal self, and let's let the natural dissolving into this absolute unified onlyness. We'll be talking about this singular unity field, seamless, of whole divine being, which is simultaneously unmanifested and manifested. So I'm going to be quiet for 30 seconds to a minute, so we just let ourselves dissolve in this field. Just melt into this and just enjoy that. Okay, so gently and slowly let yourselves come back into the body, mind, and into the room. So that, you could say, is a super deep wellness of being. The implication of this is everyone is this. This is all inclusive. Everyone is an incarnation of radiant whole divine being. There is only whole divine being, or the divine self, this ultimate divine being, and it's simultaneously unmanifested and manifested. So we are each that. I am God all inclusively, and you are God all inclusively. We are this divine being, divine self, all inclusively. Everyone and everything is that. So it's just a matter of clarifying that and having more stable access to that and having that enjoyment. It's our natural inherent birthright. It's who we are. We already are that which we seek. That whole divine being is already undivided and not something we have to go off to find. We are that already. And that is this materialized world. Singular, seamless unity of whole divine being. Okay, so bonus number 2, I call it, my current term is the grace field. This is where we get a little mystical. But let's say I believe in grace, capital G. You might say it's the blessing, magical dimension of existence of divine being. So when I do what I would call realized prayer or paradoxical prayer, then for myself, being oriented to the divine, the feminine face of God, I might pray to the big other. And for me, the big other might be the Supreme Mother. So, but I'm praying to that which I am. It's a both and paradoxical simultaneity. So through grace, let's say prayers big and small, in the broadest sense of the word that you want to use, prayer can answer, so that can be answered. And so there's this magical blessing and being held in this divine love and grace, which I feel is the heart of existence. So that was bonus number 2 of wellness, this inherent wellness of radiant whole divine being. So in interest of time, I'll end things here. It's a big topic. We could talk about it for a much longer time. We'll be ending it here. And then if you have questions, then you could bring that up in the sharing time. All right. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to end the recording.